on Sunday, man? I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell are you? One day away. A little over a day in terms of hours, but in terms of calendar days, 1 day away from our beloved Bucs going to battle on Monday Night Football, ready for combat against the Philadelphia Eagles, ready for revenge. Early in September, Eagles came to town on a Monday night. They had their way with us, we can't lie, whether it was because of injuries or whether it was because of disappointing play. Eagles upended us the first time around, but this is a whole new ball game. This is a whole new season. It's a postseason. Each team is 0-0. And a matter of fact, in terms of health and injuries, things are a little topsy-turvy, as last time the Bucs were without Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean for part of the game, Devin White was all messed up. We're going to get into the injury report here in a little bit. J-Lo and Tampa Tones here, bringing you a special on Wild Card Sunday. Oh boy, we got two exciting games to get into today as well. Hopefully they're a little better than yesterday's. And we have a lot of Bucs stuff to talk about, our score predictions, our player of the game previews. We're going to go over Todd Bowles' last presser before the big game, which happened yesterday, and so much more here on the Buccateers, as we'll be with you shortly past the top of the hour. But without further ado, going to bring in the great J-Lo here onto the Buccateers as we get ready for Monday Night Football. J-Lo, I know I'm amped. I know you're amped. You're going to the game. Anytime you're going to a Bucs game, it's a different type of feeling, but I'm sure going to a playoff game tomorrow, it's even that much more hype. Truly win or go home fashion tomorrow's game is, and I got a feeling we're not going home yet. I have a feeling this is the beginning of a pretty dang good run for this Buccaneers team.
Couldn't agree more. It's going to be fun. Get to watch a couple NFC games today, which could determine whether we play at home next week if we get past the Eagles. And I agree, man. Hopefully it's better than yesterday's games. And I think they will. I think we're in for a real treat. You know, everybody's counting the Packers out against the Cowboys.
Revenge Day.
Oh, yeah, Revenge Day for sure. It's going to be real fun to watch those. And then, yeah, I'm hyped for tomorrow night's game. I already talked to my brother. I told him we need to figure out, you know, the pregame. Might flip some burgers, you know, before the game, you know. We'll see. But for the most part, it's going to be fun, man. No A.J. Brown.
Make sure you hit up Jay and Plus and those guys. I'm sure they're going to have their tailgate ready to rock and roll as well. So make sure you tune in with our good buddies, Big J and Plus, and I'm sure they'll have something going.
Absolutely. Like I said, you know, we're just kind of playing by ear right now because of the rain possibly happening. And I really don't want to be, you know.
Poncho J-Lo or no Poncho J-Lo? What's it gonna be?
Poncho this time. Last time I went with no poncho, your boy got drenched. I ended up taking a bath out in the Raymond James Stadium.
Hey, as long as it's a victory shower, I think it's a good shower. But nonetheless, I'm amped to get your thoughts tomorrow morning, as it'll be game day vibes. We will be back tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen, on a holiday special, Martin Luther King Day special, breakfast with the Buccateers, as we have a big kickoff tomorrow night. Why not preview it? We'll be here about 9:15, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll keep you guys posted on an exact time as the day goes. But J-Lo, I have a sense that, you know, a lot of Eagles fans will still be there this time around. I don't think as many as there were in September for a couple of reasons. A, it is on a Monday, so, you know, yeah, you're on vacation, but it might be a little tougher to get to being on a Monday night opposed to a Saturday or Sunday where you could, you know, fly home directly after. B, There's a lot of weather impact in the whole mid East right now. I'm sure Philly's facing it. I'm sure some of them have a hard time getting out. To be exact, I mean, I'm sure their weather ain't nearly as bad as some places, but I'm sure that's playing an impact. And C, feel like their fans just aren't as enthusiastic right now. I don't see a lot of Eagles fans talking, puffing their chest out like we normally do. I'm sure that'll change come Monday, come tomorrow when the lights are on, but with all those factors, their team's kind of sliding in here on a sluggish skid. I don't really see the Eagles showing up. I think it'll be about 35%, not like that 40 to 45 like we seen in September. What say you?
No, couldn't agree. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's gonna be Eagle fans there. I'm already expecting that. But shout out to all the other Buck fans out there trying to get season ticket holders to sell their tickets to Bucks fans to try to help create more of the home team instead of bringing in all these, tourists in, from Philly. So shout out to them that's been putting out there. I've been looking on social media, seeing all the hard work in that. So hey, you know, that's a Bucks life, man. We want to fill that stadium out full of Bucks fans, now they're opponent fans. And the Philly fans, they can come, make the donation. But I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work out the way they want it, no matter how bad they want it. Unfortunately, Eagle fans are very delusional. At least most of them are, and they think by some miracle, even without AJ Brown and a depleted secondary, thinking that they're just going to come in our house and beat us again. Uh.
Yeah, and as Zach mentions too, much better effort on Bucks fans' behalf of actually trying to link up Bucks fans. And I will give a plug and a shout out to Samir Ali of the Loose Cannons. He's been doing a great job of trying to plug a lot of Bucks fans selling tickets to only selling them to other Bucks fans. I've tried to, hook some people up. I've seen Cody Haynes, our guy at SI Bucks Game Day. He was asking if anyone had tickets available. I hooked him up with someone who was selling their tickets. So Bucks fans helping Bucks fans are trying to fill the stands with red pewter and creamsicle and really have a great day and a great show out tomorrow. And we need a good home crowd. I think that'll be important here to get as many Bucks fans in the stands as we can. And speaking of Bucks fans, I think a lot of Bucks fans are excited to see the last injury report of the week. J-Lo, we look pretty healthy going into tomorrow for the most part. Obviously, a couple questionables. The only one trending out is Big Mike Green. He's been battling a couple different things for the past 4 weeks or so. So a little bit of a D-line hit, but other than that, the Bucks have 3 questionables. KJ Britt, although JCL, and he was on Friday night. He says he's trending in the right direction. JC from Sports Illustrated, a great friend of the shows. He joined our program Friday night. If anybody missed that, we'll link it below or just go on our YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and look up the instant replay. But that was a fun one with JC on Feel Good Friday. Josh Hayes is questionable, but he's trending in the right direction. Baker Mayfield questionable, but he should play as well. J-Lo, what say you on the injury update? 3 questionables, 1 out. Nothing too hefty outside of Baker, however. But as we get another guest tuning in.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Nothing too hefty outside of Baker whatsoever. But this is the time of year where you want good health. The last time the Bucks made a playoff run, we had really good health, and it could be the same this time around. It looks like.
No, I agree. The team looks much healthier than they ever been this year. I gotta give a lot of props to, the trainers and the coaches, working with the injured players. I think we're actually gonna have a healthy secondary between Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean. I think they're gonna come on in playoff mode. I'm excited to see that. Mike Green, that's good. It's more of a depth piece, to give Vita Vea a break because obviously they've been taking him out here and there on certain drives. But I think we look healthier than ever. I mean, we're coming in at the right time against the one team we need to play, and I mean, it's working in our favor so far, And hopefully, Bowles, Canales can come with the right game plan to get a victory tomorrow night, and I think we can very much do that. I mean, even Devin White, maybe we'll see playoff Devin. That's what I'm changing it to. Maybe we'll see a playoff Devin.
Although still inconsistent, he's been playing better of late, Devin. But yeah, looking at the injury report, not too much to worry about there. Baker will be a go. You know Baker's not going to miss this game. That guy's a tough son of a bitch.
Oh, he's a
He
soldier.
he will battle through injuries. He has his whole career. He played through torn ligaments in his time with the Browns. So he'll be a go tomorrow. And then KJ Britt, he's trending up. JC Allen said as well. And then, Hayes is trending up as well. So on the injury front, we're looking really nice there. Nothing to really be concerned about for this Bucs team injury wise, unless something late happens to Bake and he gets shaken up, which I don't see happening within the next 28 hours or so here leading into Monday Night Football. From injury report, we're going to hop to another topic of discussion now. We're going to get into Bowles' last presser real quick. It was only a minute and a half long, but he looked fierce. He looked ready to go. J-Lo, yesterday this took place. He always does it before, the Friday of, really, but since we're playing Monday Night Football, he did it Saturday this week, so we're a day behind if anyone's confused on that. The Bucs are running all their media sessions one day behind this week and following true to the Monday night schedule. But J-Lo, Bowles had his last presser yesterday. He seemed like he was good vibes, laughing with the media, talking about playlist playing. I think Bowles is pretty confident heading into this one, which is key. I think heading into Dallas Monday Night Football last season, we were a little more on the rocks in terms of confidence and comfortability. I think we see a good version of Todd Bowles heading into Monday night. His press conference to me said that. What say you, J-Lo? I think he's a confident guy heading into Monday Night Football.
No, he definitely looks more comfortable than I think he was last year. I think he has more confidence in this team because he's been with them all season. And, that's a good thing, Hopefully Bowles goes in there with, a positive attitude because you're not going to see any reaction on the sideline from him. He's just going to stay in the zone and try to coach this defense and make the right calls on defense.
Yeah,
Go
keep
ahead.
going.
But and also with all these injuries happening on Philly, I think he's realizing, okay, all we gotta do is shut down the run. They ran over us last game, so I think he's focused on, okay, you shut down the run, get after Jalen Hurts, and that's all you gotta do on defense. And then the rest is up to Dave Canales if he can come up with the right game plan. And I think they're all on the same page, between him, Canales, and the players. Because the players want to go out there. Even they seem very comfortable, very confident, which is good. That's what you want out of the players. You don't want them going in there, last minute, getting chills like, oh my goodness, we're actually playing. You want them to be on their A game. And I think Bowles has got this team on the right path right now.
Yeah, a little bit of college football news. As expected, J.J. McCarthy officially does declare for the NFL draft, bolstering this quarterback class that much more. The Michigan champion. Maybe that is a sign that Harbaugh is likely to leave as well, and we've heard rumors of that, so pay attention for Harbaugh. In my opinion, he's probably going to Los Angeles to join battle with the Chargers. Him and Herbert will do wonders over there, in my opinion. But we do have some score predictions flowing in now as well, J-Lo. A couple of people watching have chimed in. As Pop says 26-23 Tampa. He has this being a barn burner, a little close for comfort there. Joey does as well. He has it 23 to Tampa. So two guys there predicting the Bucs to win by close ones. It seems like Bucs media is confident. National media is up in the air. I've seen some networks like NFL Network is pretty much all Eagles, but then you got, former Bucs like Ndamukong Suh and Rob Gronkowski picking Bucs. You got Micah Parsons picking Bucs. Where does your score lie in tomorrow night's game, J-Lo? Personally, I know some people say, oh, Bucs better get a easy win without A.J. Brown tomorrow, Jalen Hurts hurt. And last time I checked, the Eagles are still favored. So if the Bucs could limp away with the win by any means necessary tomorrow, sign me up. I don't care if it's by 1 or by 25. As long as we win tomorrow, it is a great game in my opinion. J-Lo, thoughts on the score tomorrow? How do you see this one shaking out? Raymond James Stadium, 8:15 tomorrow night, ESPN. Biggest game on the call. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. As it's going to be around -15 here in the Chicagoland area. So a lot of people around the Midwest are going to be wrapped up and ready to roll on their televisions. You'll be in combat at the game. What's your prediction, my friend?
I mean, those are pretty good scores, definitely by Joey and Pops for sure. I'm definitely not expecting a blowout. I'm expecting a good physical dogfight game. Even with the Eagles with injuries, they're still an underrated football team, I feel like, and we can't look past that. But on that note, I like Bucks 28, Philadelphia 20. I
So
think
you're in a one-score game, but a little more comfortable.
a little bit more comfortable, yes, because I feel like the offense is going to attack their weakness, which is their DBs. Instead of trying to run the ball all the time, Canals can come up with plays, hopefully to do more counter runs instead of inside runs, because that's where the Philadelphia Eagles are pretty good at, and inside interior on the
And
D
that's where
line.
Rashad White's good at too, is kind of the outside, right? When he gets
Hitting the
outside, when he gets in space, when the tackle and the tight end are able to wedge your blocks and get into the secondary or the linebacker core. I think you're 100% right, J-Lo. That is where the Bucs could find their pay or their how should I put it? Their way to fame tomorrow on the ground.
Agreed, and don't forget about Chase Edmonds. When he's got open holes, he's pretty
He's been
slippery
running
against the
better and
blitz.
better by the week. Ever since that Titans game we went to, J-Lo, I feel like that Titans game, he had like two big plays, two nice looking plays. Ever since then, it was good. Olive chimes in 21-14 Bucks, she says. So yeah, J-Lo. Chase Edmonds, any last thoughts on him or that sort of
Uh,
run aspect?
Well, I'm thinking he's getting more confident and run the football, which I like, which is good because White is an incredible player, but you can't do it all. You need a run mate to help run the ball, and then you start to play action, and get the right pass to the right people. The one thing I will say is that
Yeah, well, go ahead, J-Lo. Do we have you?
yes, the one thing I will say is that oh man, I lost my train of thought. My bad. but
No, take a minute, gather it. I'm going to go ahead here and spit in my score prediction. As Christopher Cole says, afternoon, guys. Afternoon, Christopher. Hope your day is going great, brother. Thanks for joining into the Sunday special of the Buccateers. J-Lo and Tampa Tones here, not only going over Bucs Eagles tomorrow night, but we're going to bring you guys our predictions for Packers Cowboys, which kicks off here in less than 3 hours now. That's going to be a tremendous one. And then we got Rams Lions. So it's a day of revenge. You got Mike McCarthy against his old opponents, or his old team, I should say. The Green Bay Packers are now opponents. You got Jared Goff going against his old team, the Rams. Matt Stafford going against his old team, Detroit. So a lot of interesting things up in the air. I call it the day of revenge. We're going to get into those games here in a little bit, but all Bucks talk right now. We're going over score predictions, player of the games, and so much more. I'm going to go with, let's say, Bucks 26, Eagles 21. I'll go with the 5-point oddly scored win for the Bucks. I think Chase McLaughlin plays yet again another big role in tomorrow's game, kicking as many as potentially, 4 field goals. And I think Bucks defense shows up, maybe getting a safety somewhere in there, making the score a little ambidextrous in terms of normality. 26-21, Bucks win. And I'm going with my player of the game is actually going to be, once again, Chase McLaughlin. He's been great all year. I don't see that changing now. Again, I think he hits 3 to 4 field goals tomorrow. I think he hits all his extra points. I think he puts the Bucks over the top in terms of points tomorrow. And I think he outshines the fellow great kicker in Jake Elliott on the Eagles side of things as Olive joins us as well. J-Lo, what say you? Who's your player of the game tomorrow, brother?
I say my player of the game. I'm gonna have to say Kalijah Cansey. I think he's gonna get in there, shut down the run, and get out to Jalen Hurts and put the heat on him.
And, one of the quotes of the year to me that WDAE had Kalijah Cansey on after we drafted him. He was on the Ronnie and T-Crash show, and T-Crash, Tom Krasnicki, asked Kalijah Cansey a simple question about the first overall pick of the draft, Bryce Young. And I loved Kalijah right away watching his college film, his ability to shed blocks, get out, in open space and even cover running backs, track them down, all that good stuff. Kalijah Cansey has been a unit to be reckoned with since his college days, but I loved him more after his interview with Ronnie and T-Crass. T-Crass asked him a simple question. Kalijah, what fares you most about Bryce Young, when you play him, this and that? And he goes, no, Tom, Bryce Young's going to be faring me out there. And I think Cansey's going to have a huge impact on Jalen Hurts tomorrow and the run game, just like he has all year when he's played. He missed the first game. Again, in the beginning of the program today, at the top of the hour when we kicked off, we talked about health the first time around. Bucs were without Kalijah Cansey as well. He wasn't playing the first time around. So Bucs get Kalijah back for this matchup. They didn't have him in September against the Eagles. They didn't have Carlton Davis in September against the Eagles. They had a half-baked Jamel Dean and Devin White in September against the Eagles. And tomorrow, let's not forget as well, the Eagles are without A.J. Brown. That's a big blow to Philly and their offense, and it'll be hard for them to move the ball via the air. They still got some weapons, don't get me wrong. Tight ends ain't terrible. They still have Goddard. Then they still have other receiving weapons like a Quez Watkins or like a Devontae Smith, but no one does it on Philadelphia like A.J. Brown is able to do it. So I think Kalijah Cansey's a good one, as they're going to look to be running a lot tomorrow or play the short screen game without the likes of A.J. Brown, J-Lo. I think that is a good call. And speaking of good calls here in the Buccateers, we're going to be trying to make a couple of good calls for these Sunday games. We got 2 on tap for today. We got a couple of good ones, if you ask me. At least they should be. People who are unfamiliar saying, hey, aren't there 3 games today? Well, if you live under a rock, the Buffalo-Pittsburgh game got postponed to tomorrow. Weather conditions are crazy, which personally I don't mind as long as it is played tomorrow, because then you got 2 games yesterday, 2 games today, 2 tomorrow. I kind of like the 2-2-2 deal. Take some eyes off that Bucs game as well. A little bit of pressure off Tampa, if you ask me. And I think that's always a good thing. J-Lo, we're going to start with the games today. The first one is 4:30 Eastern, I believe, and that's Packers at Dallas. Mike McCarthy's old team comes to his new town. It's a 7-point spread. Cowboys pretty heavy favorite by a touchdown, but the Packers have been hot, and in their last 10 games, Jordan Love, 21 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Aaron Jones has had a much better second half. Who do you see winning this one, J-Lo? Any chance the Packers come away with victory in Dallas, Green Bay here in just less than 3 hours till kickoff?
Honestly, I like the Packers. I think the Packers might go in there and upset the Cowboys. The Cowboys are known for choking in the playoffs, especially at home. So give me the Packers on the road against the Cowboys.
Do you think Mike McCarthy loses his job if that happens?
Oof, tough one. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say yes. If you can't win at home and you win and defeat at home the whole season, and then you lose to a Packers team that's really not that good, on my opinion, then yeah, I think he's gone for sure.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think if the Cowboys can't wrap up the Packers today, then McCarthy's gone. And that also has to do with the amount of other candidates out there as well, right? You got a Belichick, you got a Vrabel, you got a Harbaugh, now you got a Pete Carroll in play, technically. You got a lot of big wigs out there in terms of names, and Jerry Jones loves that. He's half clickbait. So he's going to want one of those big names if Mike McCarthy isn't able to win today. I know a lot of people have Dallas as winning big, but I would not count out Green Bay. I wouldn't sleep on Green Bay. They might get Christian Watson back as well, which would be a big get back for them. And Bucs fans should be rooting for Green Bay today as well, because if Green Bay and the Rams win and Tampa wins, Tampa gets another home game there next week. So not sure if Green Bay is going to pull it out today, but in terms of fandom and rooting for the Bucs, I'm going to be pulling for Green Bay, and I'll predict they upset Dallas just ever so slightly in terms of helping out the Bucs. And I think Aaron Jones scores at least 1 touchdown today. But if that Dallas offense gets going, that's going to be hard to keep up pace with. I'm just hoping for a good battle in Dallas there, as Mike McCarthy is fighting for his job potentially, and we'll see how that goes. And Christopher says we didn't have Dean after the first drive of the game. Yep, exactly. And we talked about that, Christopher. We just brought that all up, how we were without Dean for most of the game, how we had no Carlton Davis. We had no Kalijah Cansey. Devin White was clearly injured as well because when he got that interception, could have been a pick six potentially, but you could tell he had to slow up because something pulled up in Devin White. So yeah, Bucs were heavily banged up, heavily hindered that first matchup against the Eagles, and let's just say Eagles aren't an ideal team to be shorthanded against, as they have a lot of offensive weapons. But now without AJ Brown, roles are kind of reversed, and that's a lovely thing. That's music to Bucs fans' ears with AJ Brown out tomorrow, and the Bucs being at full health or almost at full health heading into Monday Night Football. J-Lo, the big one tonight, Stafford against Goff. Battle of the QBs that are flip-flop. Detroit's hosting the Rams, 8:15 Eastern. Who do you like in that one? Rams have been hot lately. Again, Bucs fans will be rooting for the Rams, especially if the Packers win. That would mean a home game for the Bucs if they could win. Who you got in that revenge game, Rams, Packers, J-Lo?
I like the homecoming of Matthew Stafford going into his old team's house and taking it from them. Give me the Rams on the road in Detroit.
Yeah, and Sam Laporta is reported to probably play. He's going to wear an offensive lineman's brace and likely check it out how his leg does, his knee holds up, and that injury looked gruesome. So the fact that he's potentially able to play is crazy. And Detroit's kind of been a little sluggish since Thanksgiving. They've kind of limped into the playoffs a little bit, and the Rams have been on the up and up, winning Week 18 to give themselves that 6 seed instead of the 7 seed, which I think is a big momentum boost for the Rams as well. And I got the Rams playing a close one. I don't know if they win. I think Detroit barely wins. I'll be rooting for the Rams. I got Detroit by a field goal, but I'll be rooting for the Rams, man. I will be, because if the Rams and Packers win, that'll help benefit the Bucs there as well. But two great games today, and then we end it with two great games tomorrow, and we'll talk about the Pittsburgh Buffalo game more on tomorrow's show. Is we'll see. Hopefully they do play tomorrow. That weather is not changing too much over there, J-Lo, but we should have decent weather outside of maybe some rain in Tampa. And if it does rain, do you think that benefits the Bucs or Eagles if it were to come down and sprinkle a little bit on tomorrow's matchup?
Honestly, it would be more evenly matched because then you're going to see both teams try to run the ball in the trenches, and it could go in the Eagles' favor because they have more experienced linemen on there. But, with this depleted defense on Philly, you never know what could happen. If it rains, it makes the game more interesting, in my opinion, and makes the game a little bit low scoring because Jalen Hurts is going to be struggling to throw the football. I already know that's going to happen. And then Baker, if he goes in with confidence, he should be able to move the ball on the Eagles secondary. But if it rains, you'll see a lot more run plays and pass plays.
That's another great point by Christopher Cole. Yeah. Diaby was in a limited role. And to kind of piggyback off that, not only has I think Yaya gotten better with his role, but I think JTS is playing a lot better in his role now. It's more of a hybrid type role, a reduced role, but an important role is when they ask him to rush the passer. He does just that. He's gotten his career high in sacks this year and had the biggest important play of the game last week. So I think that's a great point by Christopher Cole. I think this defense knows each other better now, knows each other's roles a little bit better now. And that showed last week as they let up 0 points against Carolina. And Antoine Winfield Jr., J-Lo, he's just been incredible. One more tip of the cap to him. What all can you say about Winfield and his impact this year? He's been awesome. He's been no short of great, and no Bucs fans are surprised by that. I know, but man, if you're an NFL fan and you didn't know much about Antoine Winfield Jr. before, you sure as hell do now, J-Lo.
No, agreed. I mean, he's been getting better each year since he's been drafted here, and he's proven that he's probably the best safety we have had, even over John Lynch at this point. I know it's a little early right now with his age, but I like his confidence. I like his work ethic. And he goes out there and plays his heart out no matter what. So I think to NFL fans, I don't watch a lot of Buccaneer football because I get it. We're not interested in y'all. But be on the lookout for this man. This man will be maybe not defensive player of the year this year. 'Cause I think he arguably is in that conversation. But in the future, he's gonna be at one of the top safeties in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with that. And uh, I'm thinking that him and Worse are going to really get dump truck some money by this Buccaneers front office over the next couple of off seasons. Christopher Cole predicts Levante David will have a pick six. That would be incredible. That would be really good stuff right there. Levante is definitely deserving of doing that, and he could definitely do it. He's one of the best linebackers of all time. Definitely underrated throughout his career. And things I love about this Bucs team, J-Lo, they get some of these core guys like Mike Evans, like Will Golston, like Levante David, like a big Pat O'Connor, and they don't leave Tampa, right? I mean, Levante's been around since 2012 now, Will Golston since 2013, Mike Evans since 2014, I believe Pat O'Connor since 2017 or 18 now. These guys come to Tampa. They love playing here. They're willing to take a little less to stay here. And we see these guys grow in front of our eyes. How rare is that to have four players, especially Golston, Levante, and Evans? But I like throwing Pat O'Connor in there as well. He was drafted by a different team, but they cut him right away. He came to the Bucs and hasn't left since. It's a rarity that those cases happen, but we've seen it with Cam Brate. Then we've seen it with Ryan Griffin as well, J-Lo. A lot of players love coming to Tampa, and they don't like to leave. They like to be here for the majority, if not the entirety, of their NFL careers.
No, agreed. I mean, shout out to the real ones like Levante David, Mike Evans. He would help bring down. He would help spread the money out to the other players. By just getting a paycheck a lot sooner. And plus, William Golston. I mean, that man's such a great person. I met him a couple times in the past, and he's just a nice guy, and that's what I like about players like him that are on our team. They're here to play football, but try to help win us football games, and also mentor the young ones that we have now for the future.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you bring up a great point there. And I think our draft class was incredible this year as well. So I think we're going to get plenty more Bucks to be Bucks for a while. I mean, Jason Light, kudos to him as well. I know we've talked about it the past couple pods now, J-Lo, but this past draft class, you look through and then you go back to 2020 where he drafted Winfield and worse. And it's like, man, for those idiots and dummies and morons of Bucks fans that said, "Oh, maybe he's on the hot seat," you know, you gotta be you gotta be silenced now. And I've never understood why people have doubted or hated on Jason Light. This year we were so much money in debt, and he made do with what he could. He brought Baker Mayfield in and Chase McLaughlin in on dirt cheap contracts, and J-Lo, those two guys alone have been half the Bucks offense this year, Baker and Chase McLaughlin. So kudos to Jason Light on not only drafting great, but bringing in some real cheap bargain buys of free agency that have really benefited well.
Agreed. I mean, he's definitely executive of the year in my book. For what he had to work with in the offseason and then take gambles on Baker Mayfield on a really, like best deal I could ever ask for his statue. And then you got McLaughlin who came in. He's kicking these huge field goals, which really dinged us last year on the long field goals. So that's a very clutch moment. I'm glad that you're giving him his flowers because let me tell you, not a lot of fans don't talk about him as much, from what I noticed. Shout out to the kicker. Even though Carmaro's looking a little shanky lately, but hopefully he'll be ready to play tomorrow night so we can keep the Eagles down on their side of the field.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And you know, just a couple shout outs to former Bucks yesterday. Not really shout outs, but a lot of former Bucks in the playoffs yesterday, J-Lo. And in particular on the Chiefs, it's kind of wild how many former Bucks the Chiefs have. They have Blaine Gabbert, Mike Edwards, Justin Watson, Donovan Smith. They had Rojo at one point. Thoughts on the Chiefs winning yesterday, but doing it with a lot of Bucks on their side? It seems like for whatever reason, they like adding themselves some former Bucks.
Yeah, Mike Edwards, he got a pick last night. He's an interception machine. He does have his flaws at times, but he was a good contributor to our roster over the years, and now he's on a good football team like the Chiefs. Donovan. I don't know, he's just Donovan to me, but he did help contribute. Help winning a Super Bowl. And Justin Watson, a guy a lot of fans counted out when he got drafted here. He made some plays here, and then he ended up going to Kansas City and winning another championship ring. I mean, shout out to him. I understand it's a business, and players want to go play for the best team. Help win championships. But shout out to them. And good for the Chiefs. They won at home in the very cold weather. It's hard to win in cold weather. I mean, just see Andy Reid's beard, his little mustache frozen was already like, oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, Andy Reid looked like he was frozen out there. But yeah, kudos to a lot of Bucks going to Kansas City and winning. But I'm tired of the Chiefs with Taylor Swift and all that stuff. So hopefully, it's short lived for those guys, and the real Bucks could keep on winning and winning and winning and winning. And speaking of winning, the Bucks have won enough this year to make the playoffs and be in it tomorrow, and we've done some great giveaways through the season, and we're going to plan on doing it through the playoffs as well. We announced another Bucks Miss giveaway winner today on our X feed, so pay attention. And the rules still apply. If you broke the rules, well, you might not win, sadly, but 2 winners announced so far. We're going to keep announcing winners over there on our X at Buccateers, Buccateers, and be on the lookout for more giveaways throughout the playoffs as well. J-Lo, what's your one big thing you're looking out for in tomorrow's night's game? We will be back tomorrow morning, Breakfast with the Buccateers holiday special, but you're with us today on a Sunday special. J-Lo, one big thing you're looking out for tomorrow's game?
I'm looking for, the Bucs fans to show up and root for your team. I already know this team. I think they're locked in, ready to go. But I want to say, look out for the Bucs fans. I'll show up for their team, and hopefully less green in that stadium. I know we're gonna have, probably 35%, like you said. But Bucs fans, that's what I'm looking out for tomorrow night. I want to see a lot more Bucs fans at the game tomorrow night.
And, as weird as it sounds, we'll take 35% because it was just 40 to 45 seemingly in September. But as you and Zach Johnson noted, shout out to Zach as well, a lot of Bucks fans are doing their thing on X, on social medias, to trying to get less Eagles fans and more Bucks fans to buy tickets. I bet you that helps make up that 5 to 10% difference as well. My one big thing I'm looking out for tomorrow is it's a young man's game. Bucks have had the most snaps out of any undrafted free agents this year, and one of the most snaps out of any draft classes in the NFL this year. I think their defense is going to remain strong with Kalijah Kancey, Yaya Diaby, Christian Izzy, and other young guys out there. And I think they're only going to get better with Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis and Kalijah Kancey playing full games against Philly, and Devin White being a little more healthy this time around against Philly. That all bodes well for tomorrow. This reminds me a lot in terms of healthiness about the Bucks 2020 Super Bowl run. They were really healthy outside of Alex Kappa going down in the playoffs that year. They made a run. Look for the Bucks to get healthy. And it's JC Allen. He was on our show Friday night once again. If you missed it, with JC Allen from Sports Illustrated, he's a great guy, great friend of the shows. He was on Friday night, and he said he wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks were able to make a run to the NFC Championship in due part to health. Let's go with J-Lo next. J-Lo, any final words to the program, to the show for today's pod about tomorrow's game? Any last words?
Oh yeah, shout out to the fans of the show that take the time to comment and watch and talk some Buccaneer football. I thank you all very much. And shout out to the other Buccateers out there, that's part of the group, And go Bucs, man. Let's go out there. Let's enjoy some football, Sunday football, and watch these other teams play. And we'll get me more excited for tomorrow night, especially if the Rams pull it off in the Packers. Then we got a chance to host another home game.
Yeah, and I'm in a same boat with you. My final word is win by any means necessary tomorrow. Get out there and frickin' win. Get out there and get a W by any means necessary. I don't care if it's by half a point, by 300 million points. Just get out there, play your asses off, and make us proud, man. Make us proud and make J-Lo, myself, and Cats look like brilliant individuals for having the Bucs back all season and for giving us a reason to be in the playoffs. Don't give these draft calculator nerdy assholes a chance to be, I told you so, Bucs gonna even beat a banged up Eagles. No. Go out there and shock the world tomorrow. Keep playing the underdog story and keep winning football games like we have for the past 6 to 7 weeks of the 2023-2024 NFL season. J-Lo, take us home, buddy. Last words on this Sunday. What are you up to today, brother? Any plans for these games later? 2 big ones. What are you up to for them?
Pretty much in dad mode, as you saw my little one earlier. We're just gonna lay low, hang out, probably turn the grill on today, maybe cook something in the grill for some.
Do you get both your little ones today, or are you spending time with just the little of littles?
Just a little one, little. I got one today, which I can't really be too mad because sometimes having two can be can be a lot of work, as you see. But for the most part, I got my little one here. Gonna try to teach her the game of football, but she's 2, but she'll cheer. Gracie, say go Bucs. Say go
Hey,
Bucs.
there we go.
Go.
Gracie giving us a blessing with the Go Bucs. Probably the youngest and smartest Bucs fan of the 3 of us here, but she is a young genius and she's doing well in terms of paving her way to Bucs fandom. Start them young because they could only get better as they get older, they get wiser. So start them young, and she has great words for tomorrow. Go Bucs, as Gene Deckeroff does too. 3, 2, 1, fire the damn cannons, touchdown Tampa Bay. O'Keefe finds his way into the end zone. I say O'Keefe because nothing will surprise me tomorrow, J-Lo. Dave Canales is going to do a hell of a job to me of bringing in a playbook and emptying the clip. He's going to leave nothing on the table tomorrow. No scraps on the dinner plate.
Oh, yeah, no. Like I said, it's going to be a fun time tomorrow night. Like I said, go out there, root for the team, and get Live 45, Let's get on board, baby. Devin White, baby. Playoff Devin, let's go.
Get Live 45. I just framed my game-worn Devin White jersey down here from the Atlanta game this year when the Bucs played the Falcons, and I was there, had to get his jersey from this game. It's all stained up. That means he was a warrior out there. He'll be a warrior tomorrow. And I'll also say Dave Canales had a hell of a week. He had a great press conference. Go over to Bucs social media if you missed it. That was Friday, as again, we're a day behind. So Friday, he had a great presser. And then the new In the Current, a great thing the Bucs do. It was incredible. Go watch that. Really highlights Dave Canales and the journey and path he took. And I'll find it interesting. Dave Canales did say he was pissed off at Pete Carroll. He said he loved him, but he's pissed at him for being passed on not once, but passed on twice by the Seahawks as the offensive coordinator. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see tomorrow. I think Dave Canales does a hell of a job and keeps putting his show on display for the world, and I think Todd Bowles has these guys ready to play. But we'll be back tomorrow morning, Monday, on Martin Luther King Day holiday special, 9:15 or 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Breakfast with the Buccateers, playoff edition. J-Lo, have a great Sunday, brother. Enjoy, fire the damn cannons, go Bucs. You and Gracie enjoyed the day.
Appreciate it, brother. You too, man. Enjoy the game, stay safe, and we'll chat more tomorrow, man. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs, go Bucs, go Bucs. Fire the damn cannons, touchdown Tampa Bay. It's been Tampa Tones and J-Lo. We out. Enjoy your Sunday. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over